Hi everyone, I'm sharing today my first hardcover junk journal, probably my first junk journal period. This is for a challenge that Dear Julie Julie hosted for the month of January. There were some required elements that she required, and then there were also some other things we could use, but basically junk, so any kind of things that your normal person, not a crafter, would consider junk. Junk mail, all the stuff that entails, flyers, envelopes, catalogs, anything that would come in the mail, scrapbooking paper bits and pieces that anybody else would throw away, but we hang on to everything, all kinds of things like that. So as I go through, I will explain to you some of the required pieces, and then some of the things we were allowed to add. So the first thing is, like I said, it had to be a hardcover. So here's my hardcover. I made this using the cardboard method, where you take the 3 pieces, you allow a little space in here. I chose to cover mine in fabric. We were allowed to use 1 fabric, so I chose to save that for my cover. I wanted a fabric cover. We were also required to use 2 to use 2 signatures in the journal. I chose 3. And then also to include a tassel and some charms. So I chose to use, like I said, the 3 signatures, and I tied them into the book, into my journal, using just a piece of muslin from the back of a valance that I had saved. And I did this for a couple different reasons. On the inside with my signatures, I wanted them to be flexible, so if things were needed to be added or someone wanted to change things around, if the signatures grew too big, just for the flexibility. And I also didn't want it to be real prim and proper, I guess. It is a gardening journal. That's the theme of my journal, is gardening. And so these also kind of reminded me, these ties, of the ties that a gardener would use to tie up the branches, like of a tomato plant or a vine. Just strips of cloth that they used to use years ago. Now we have fancy clips and everything, but they kind of reminded me of that also. And then also the way they hang together in this little cluster, kind of, I'm hoping, qualifies as my tassel. I thought it looked like a tassel. So the bow's at the top, and then all the strings hanging down. I added some beads, just knotted, very simple. Again, I wanted my journal very simple. If it's a junk journal, I didn't think it should be too fancy or lacy or elegant. That's what I tend to do, is more pretty. So I wanted to try and keep this one pretty basic. So I just tied some knots. That's just what held my beads in place. And then we were required to include 3 charms. So I just hand stitched on the bottom of my little tassel pieces. This one has a leaf. There's a small flower. There's a cluster of grapes and a leaf, and then some more flowers on some of them. So I think there's a total of like 5 or 6 charms actually. So that, I'm hoping, qualifies as my tassel. So as we go inside, I'll kind of tell you what elements were required elements. All right. So first page, first required element, a top tuck. Some of these things I'd never heard the names of. Like I said, this is kind of new to me, doing all this paper journaling and all this kind of stuff. I usually work with fabrics and laces and doilies and things like that. So this has been really fun for me and a great learning experience. So a top tuck is basically a pocket that, instead of on the bottom of your page, it's flipped over to the top of your page, so that your pieces actually tuck up into this pocket. Okay? So in this top little tuck pocket, we were allowed to use 8 decorative, like, notepad pages. So I have some pansies. This one has butterflies and a little dragonfly. And then also we were allowed to use a total of 8 either like graph papers, line papers, journal, anything like that. So here's a piece of graph paper. I thought, you know, if somebody really did want to do and use this as a spring gardening journal, then they could write their shopping list here of maybe some of the plants they want to purchase, and then maybe they could draw out their garden ideas here on this graph paper, get an idea of what's going to fit where. And then we were allowed to use one pen, so I chose a black fine point Sharpie, and I did some doodling on the page. Just to kind of, the background of my fabric I chose for my covers black, so I kind of stuck with the base of a black and white theme. So this is black and white. These pages in here are actually part of my junk mail. I got a sample of some gardening cards that came in the mail. If I wanted to join this club, they would include so many each month in this package they were going to send. So I kept them, and I've had them for a while. And it just kind of all came together when Julie decided to do this junk journal. So on the next page, and I have also not covered all the pages because some of them are really pretty. And I thought if the owner of the journal really was interested in this plant or this beautiful flower here, that then they'd have the name and a little information about it in case they wanted to go to the store and maybe think about adding some of these things to their garden. And some tips. So these are really nice little pieces here. Okay, then another one on this one that was required was a matchbook tag. Okay, so this is my matchbook tag. Looks like the matches, you know, I used to open them up, flip open the cover, and the matches would be inside. I left this inside blank for journaling. Again, more notes about what you want to do in your garden. Next page, another requirement, a belly band with 2 inserts. So this is my belly band. And then this is just a blank form again here for journaling, just a piece of paper. Kind of interesting, a little different, more junk mail. And then this is an envelope that I altered in case you wanted to maybe stick some coupons in there. Did some doodling on there. And then I also received a catalog in the mail for purchasing plants and seeds and things like that. So that's what a lot of the photos are from. So kind of timing-wise, I wasn't really sure what the theme of my journal was going to be, but within like 3-4 days time, I got a whole bunch of stuff for gardening in the mail. So it worked out perfectly. Kind of helped me to decide what I was going to use as the theme. Okay, this is a coloring page. We were allowed 1 coloring page. I left mine black and white. Again, it kind of goes in with my doodling, kind of all ties together. And then we had to do a envelope ensemble with 2 inserts. So I used a pink and a white envelope, folded them in half. Pictures of some roses from that catalog and some doodling. There's a pocket here that I have inserted one of those notepad papers. Some more roses that were in there doodling, and I just folded a piece of paper here just for some interest. This is the flap of the envelope here that I kept so that you could use it as little tuck spots. Again, if you wanted to tuck notes in there or you really were interested in some of these beautiful roses. And then the envelope has a window. I thought maybe if you wanted to take a picture of something you were growing in your garden and add a photo in there. And then another tuck spot. These were some more papers and some cards, something I got in the mail. And I left this blank for lots of journaling space. I didn't want to have too many photos. I wanted it to really be used as a gardening journal. And then the back of that coloring page. And then another element that was required was a waterfall with 2 inserts. I don't think I've ever done a waterfall in paper before, so this was fun. So I just used some paper here, decorative paper, and then these were from a like little address book that came in the mail as a free gift, a thank you for a donation I had made. So that's why you'll see the letters at the top of the page. And then each one is open on the side so that you could tuck things in. This is a paint sample, paint chip. Again, more doodling space. We've been doing a lot of painting around here, so I had lots of paint chip samples to be able to use and play with. Of course, my fingers aren't working today. I'm just going to tuck that there for now. And then at the bottom, I used one of those paint chip samples to make a pocket on the side. And some more doodling. It's been kind of fun to be able just to scribble and doodle in here. And then this here would be the fabric waterfall that was required. So there's a real pretty piece of lace, pink lace, above a little piece of soft green with little roses. And then a little pocket here, another little journaling spot. All right. Mr. Cardinal's causing me some issues. Okay. That is the end of the first signature. Now the second signature is just me. Nothing with requirements that Julie had given, just things that I just kind of did on my own. Just some more flowers from the gardening catalog. And then this down here looks like a little envelope. Just open it up. More journaling space. A little journaling tag. And on the back, this is from chocolates that I got at Christmas. The paper, the little comes in there, that little dimensional, smells so good. So hopefully this journal is going to smell really good like chocolate. So I even used that. Next page, a little pocket here with some tags. Room on the back for journaling. Flips up. Some varieties of lilac. Lilacs smell so good. I do have a couple lilac bushes in my garden, and I love the smell. Okay, and then a tiny little pocket here with another real pretty colorful flower. Like I said, lots of ideas on different plants, indoor and outdoor. Mostly florals, though. Okay, and then on this page here, I just did some doodling. A pink envelope, left it blank. Lots of journaling. This spot here, I thought if you want to save your seed packages, if you plant some flowers from seed or even vegetables, that way you would know the following year what you used. Those could get tucked in there. And then some more ideas. Clematis, I have one of those. I used to have a Rose of Sharon, but for some reason they don't do well in my area. They only last a few years and then they die. So I haven't planted another one of those. It's a pretty daisy type flowers. A paper bag again. I thought, you know, it comes in and out real easy if you wanted to keep an advertisement or keep a little catalog or keep seed packets or something for the next year, even seeds. And then that is the end of signature number 2. So signature number 3, this was me though. This is just a little flip up, African violet. So like I said, some house plants. Just a little pocket at the top. All right, this is signature number 3. Got a little ahead of myself. Okay, so in signature number 3 are more required elements. This one here is a double tuck with inserts. So if we take all these inserts out, you will see that it's an envelope where you can tuck in the back and you can also tuck here. This was just an index card of some sort that I received as a sample in the mail. So that fits in there. And another little card from some company wanting me to subscribe. I get a lot of things like that. They want me to join their clubs. And then this one here, just a little collage of different flowers. Tucks in there. So that's my double tuck with inserts. Okay, then on this page here, just another little flap and doodling and beautiful flowers. All right, and here our required element is a wallet with 3 inserts. So this was supposed to basically look kind of like a man's wallet. I did a bifold. This is my cover. And this is a paint sample. And I left the colors of the paint even on here in case somebody was interested and loved the color. All right, so on the inside, it looks like it's got the little slots here, like you would put your credit cards in here. On this side. Room on the back again for journaling. These are made with paint chips. And then on this side, a pocket made with a paint chip with another little tag in there, like you would put your driver's license in. So that is the wallet. Then on this page, we had to do a bank envelope, like when you go to the bank and they send back your receipt or they send back cash. So this is a bank envelope, and it was a bank envelope with 2 inserts. So if you go inside, this is one insert, one of those pretty pads of paper for journaling. And then I took a second envelope and glued it to the top of the bank envelope and left the flap open. So I did put a picture of a flower, but I actually cut right along the flap line so that it looks like it's one piece, but it does open. And there are some more tags on the inside, some more beautiful roses with journaling space on the back. It closes up. It's got a little lace tie. I made a little paper clip. Paper clips, staples, those types of things were allowed. Anyway, this one here is called a flip-flop page. And the reason for that is this part here flips this way. This piece here flips this way. So I hope I got all these elements right. Like I said, this was my first time. So go back to the front. Okay, so this is obviously a security envelope, and it has a couple tags, paint chip, different floral collage from that catalog. Inside of the envelope, journaling. You can fit a lot more in this envelope. Some more photos here. This is the security window that was in there, and a rose. That flips that way, that flips that way. And then this one was kind of fun because it actually had a red inside instead of the typical black and white. So that was kind of cool. I hadn't seen one of those before. And so that brings us to the end of my junk journal. So thank you for taking the time to go through this with me. I had a lot of fun. I kept the cover pretty simple. I didn't want to embellish it too much, just in case you wanted to throw it in your purse, take it with you to the store if you had things written in it, or you wanted to take it outside with you to the garden. I kept it pretty basic. So that is it for my junk journal. And thank you, dear Julie Julie. I really had a lot of fun with this. It was great. It was nice to try something different and new. So thank you, everyone, again. Bye.